Welcome to The Complete Teacher, 101 meaningful, bite-sized professional development lessons, each coming with thought-provoking titles, relevant, inspiring quotes, helpful text with anecdotes, data, and wisdom, and action steps. Lesson 61, 504s and IEPs in a nutshell. Albert Einstein says, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." Margaret Bancroft, an advocate for special education from the late 1800s, was onto something when she said, "Special children need well-trained teachers who use materials adapted to those children's capabilities. They should not be abandoned to state institutions." Not everyone learns the same way, at the same speed, or with the same materials. In past decades, many local, state, and federal laws have been designed to address students with specific struggles, learning needs, or disabilities. Few more prevalent than the 1973 Rehabilitation Act. From this law comes the framework for the modern 504 plan. All classroom teachers should have an adequate understanding of 504s, as they will inevitably find students to which this program applies. The following paragraph should not be mistaken for exhaustiveness, but it should serve as a starting point. 504s. Stemming from Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, a 504 plan provides services or changes to the learning environment so that a child can equitably access their education. 504 plans are also free to the parents of the child, and schools are not reimbursed for services provided. The federal government can take away funding for non-compliance, however. Students qualify if a disability such as physical limitations or attention issues interfere with their ability to learn. The 504 definition for disability is much broader than IDEA, which we'll get to, so students who don't qualify for an IEP might still qualify for a 504. Students on a 504 spend their day in the general education environment. A 504 plan is usually a written document, but doesn't have to be. It lists specific accommodations, supports, or services to assist the child, as well as the individuals responsible to provide them. Common examples of qualifiers for 504 plans include students with ADD, ADHD, physical challenges, vision or hearing impairment, dyslexia, severe allergies, diabetes, asthma, or other chronic conditions that impact how students function at school. Not everyone learns the same way, at the same speed, or with the same materials. Let's look at IEPs. Stemming from the Individuals with Disabilities Education, or IDEA Act of 2004, an Individualized Education Plan, or IEP, is a plan for a child's specialized education experience at school. These programs are free for families, as schools are reimbursed with federal funding. To qualify, a child must have one of 13 listed specific learning disabilities, or SLD, which affect their performance or ability to learn or benefit from the general education curriculum. Although the title special education is going away in some places, students on IEPs usually have allotted time outside the general education environment. These learners often have a specified number of daily or weekly instructional minutes receiving specialized academic instruction, or SAI, or other services. These other services might include things like speech, language, counseling, therapy, adaptive PE. For students receiving SAI minutes or other services, there are measurable goals attached to them, which are reported at annual IEP meetings. Required at IEP meetings are a parent, a special education teacher or case manager, a general education teacher, a district representative, and possibly other service providers. The IEP itself is a written document that keeps track of a student's present levels of performance, their annual goals, their minutes of service, classroom accommodations and modifications, which applies to both SAI and general education classes, and any accommodations for standardized testing. Students are reevaluated every 3 years to determine qualification and can be dismissed from an IEP if they no longer qualify. Action steps. In plain terms, practice explaining a 504 plan and an IEP to a friend or family member that is not involved in education. Need a copy of all the Complete Teacher lessons on slides? Looking for an e-reader or physical copy of the Complete Teacher? Want to browse thousands of other top-rated engaging resources? Check out the links below.